Evening, good Sunday evening. Yes, this is not the regular time for GTV, but listen, I was chilling. I got home and I was just sitting there, and I thought, you know what? Let me have a quick conversation. If you're watching this on the replay, of course, you'll probably see this in the morning, because that's usually the time that I will do these streams. But obviously, you guys can see, man, we're here to talk about, well, I'm here to talk about Florian Wirtz, right? And yeah, there's been a lot of discourse. There's been a lot of discourse, like over the weekend. Anyway, I didn't catch the game. Um, I only saw one of the goals. I didn't even see the other goal. But yeah, so didn't catch the game. But I saw a lot of people obviously talking about Florian Wirtz. I think he came off in the game, and yeah, people are obviously talking about that. I think now it's 15 games in the Premier League, and he hasn't scored or assisted. So now we're getting the stats versus the eye test guys, and they're all out in full force, man. And I think, yeah, I was like, I just wanted to have a conversation, and I would love to know, as I said before, you're watching this on a replay, I'd love to know what you think in regards to this whole Florian Wirtz kind of thing, right? Obviously, I'll give my 2 cents, but I do think, and you may have seen the thumbnail to this, and I do think it is maybe a case of maybe being a little bit misunderstood. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not been a little bit underwhelming, not even a little bit. It has been underwhelming for Florian Wirtz since joining, Liverpool. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff, and I think when I'm looking at it, before I take a look at like stats or whatever it is, really and truly, to kind of back up both sides of the argument, I think, listen, there's context, and I'm only going to say this now, so I don't have to keep saying it throughout this video. The context is he's come to a new team in a new league, never played in before, different intensity, different kind of vibe. You're playing for a better team than you obviously left in Bayer Leverkusen. At Bayer Leverkusen, obviously, you was like, the main guy in the team. Playing a kind of brand of football that I think was, which helped his style of play, his kind of football, that brand that Xabi Alonso was playing for the couple of seasons. Yeah, it really, really did, enhance that, and it really showed his true colors as well. Obviously, you've come to Liverpool, manager's poor, team are absolutely atrocious in terms of their style of play, not necessarily players, just in terms of the way that the team plays football. So, coming into that on top of, as I said before, a new league, a new team, new country, and all of these kind of different things, obviously, again, there has to be context obviously applied to all of this. Now, I don't necessarily care about stats if you obviously then add the context, for everything, right? So I'll give you an example. A player like Doku, I don't really care about his stats, because I feel like he's a player, when you do watch him and you listen to other Premier League players and you see, the way that certain teams might set up when they're playing against Manchester City, he's a threat. Now, he doesn't get the goals and he doesn't get the assists like that. He really doesn't. Like, his numbers are kind of poor for someone who I believe to be a really, really good winger. But ultimately, when you watch him play, you can see this guy's a danger. He's an absolute danger. Yeah, so teams always have to almost, not just him, because they got Haaland in the team, they got Foden, they got Cherky, they got this guy, Rodri, all of that. So it is a bit difficult with Manchester City, and it might be a little bit unfair, but ultimately, when he is playing, you can tell teams will focus maybe just that little bit more in terms of his positioning, where he's going to be, the things he's going to do, whether they need to double up, etc., right? So yeah, he's a player that I always think about when people talk about stats versus eye test. That's one of the players that I always think about. Another is obviously Salah, but I guess with him it's a bit different, because he actually gets the numbers and stuff like that. On the eye, not so great, not that really good in terms of what I want to see in a footballer, so to speak. But his numbers are so good, you almost give that a bly. You do give it a bly, but when it's rubbish, it's really, really rubbish, and it's really inexcusable. So with Florian Wirtz, like, I just look at it and I just think, as I said, I didn't watch the game, and I don't really feel like I need to really have made this kind of assessment or have this kind of conversation. But I just think that there are good things that he is doing. 100%. I think when he's on the pitch and he's in his, no pun intended, but he's in his kind of full flow, you're kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, he's got nice touches. You can see he's comfortable on the ball and all that kind of stuff, and he's exactly what you would want almost in a number 10. The problem, obviously, as I say, is that you're not getting any numbers. And I think that's where I think the argument starts to get a little bit skewed with some people, is that then they start to throw the watch with your eyes. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, I hear that. Honestly, I hear that. Watch with your eyes, because your eyes will tell you a lot more than the stats would. But on the flip side of it, that's usually because the player's not getting as much as they should be getting. He ain't getting any. And that's where I'm like, yeah, there has to be a conversation. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it is a conversation to be had, because you're not getting any. It's different if he was on 2, 3, where like GA. I'll just put it just GA. Forget goals, get assists, just 3. If he's on 3, then you're like, even in how rubbish Liverpool have been this season, even if he had 3, you can at least say, oh man, he should be getting a bit more. And come on, we saw the assist. Fairs. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you would look at it like that, but you ain't got none in the Premier League. You're just like, I think he's got 1. I think he might even have 2 actually. I can't even remember. I feel like he's only got 1, but someone will correct me regardless. But in the Premier League, he's got 0, and that's why I'm just like, I don't know, I don't know because you got 0. Did you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not all on you. I'm not putting that all on you. I'm like, that is a manager issue, has been a manager issue. As I said, the manager needs to bounce. He needs to bounce ASAP, absolutely ASAP. But ultimately, he's still here. So, apparently he's, playing a different formation, a different kind of way, whatever. Hopefully that then gets the best out of Florian Wirtz, because ultimately, for me, the same things that people are praising Florian Wirtz for are the same things that people were criticizing someone like Dominic Szoboszlai last season. A lot of people, a lot. Like, it got to the point where it was just like, yeah, Liverpool have to buy a number 10. Like, that was the conversation we had. Like, we didn't think it was going to be Florian Wirtz just because of the money, and we didn't know that Liverpool were going to be on this spending big. But it was the conversation of, we need to get someone else in there. Even some people were mentioning, maybe Harvey can go in there instead of Dominic Szoboszlai. People just were not on the defensive work. I mean, even the manager spoke about Dominic Szoboszlai last season in regards to getting more goals. He gets himself into these positions. He should have more goals. I don't know if he mentioned assists, but I do remember the goals. But I guess within being an attacking midfielder, you want the goals and you want the assist. So when I'm looking at it, and big up him, Tom Izzy, just see this now. Big up G. Yeah, even Messi said on ESPN, I don't like statistics. Today, everything is about that. Well, no, 100%. He probably shouldn't be talking, because he got stats and he's, aesthetically pleasing when it comes to football. So yeah, but he is right. He's 100% correct. But yeah, just everything I'm seeing, literally every single thing that I'm seeing in regards to Florian Wirtz, like the things that people pray, he's so brilliant off the ball, his defensive work is magnificent, etc. I'm like, but Dominic's was better. You get what I'm saying? And I'm sure, and I could be wrong, have to check from the 14th of December 2024. I'm gonna say Dominic at least had more than 1 goal and 1 assist by this point. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. I'll have a little look-see in a second, but I feel like he did. And obviously this season we're seeing what Dominic Szoboszlai's got more goals and assists, playing a bit further behind Florian Wirtz. And it's just funny. And this is where I say the arguments start to get a little bit skewed when it's your favorite player, or it's a player that you really, really like, versus a player that you're not really so sure of, you don't really like, or just not really your style of player, whatever the reason is. When it comes to that kind of player, that's when people start to, do the, I guess it's over-exaggerated on both sides. You get what I'm saying? And I do think it is both sides. I don't really think it's one side's doing this. I think it is literally both sides are exaggerating. I think people are exaggerating how good Florian Wirtz actually is, and people are exaggerating how bad or underwhelming he's actually been at Liverpool. Because again, you do need to watch the games. You'll start to see that, he is, in my opinion, just my opinion, but I think he is pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? Like I can tell you are a really, really good footballer, but ultimately, I feel like that can only take you so far. Like, I watch Ryan Cherki, and this is where sometimes I don't like doing comparisons, but he was the guy that everyone was comparing to, saying, Flo versus Cherki. People were saying, bro, that's not even a conversation, like, for this season. That wasn't going to, and it was never going to be a conversation. Like, it was just always going to be, nah, bro, like, Cherki's good. Yeah, he's all flicks and fancy stuff and rare tear, but he ain't going to be able to hack the Premier League. Remember people saying about Cherki being too slow? I remember people saying he ain't going to be able to hack the intensity. How ironic that it's Florian Wirtz who can't hack the intensity and can't hack the Premier League at this current moment in time. How ironic. You know what I'm saying? Like Cherky, he is so amazing. Like he is an amazing footballer. Just forget about just what he's doing for Manchester City in terms of his stats. I actually don't even know what they are, but I know he's got a couple of assists. I've just seen the one. I think did he get one today? I feel like he did, but if he didn't, I saw the other one, the Rabona to Foden last week, and that's just Turkey. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a better footballer than Florian Wirtz anyway. Like that was never a conversation anyway to be had. It was more about overall, in terms of your ability versus, what your actual output. Are you actually helping the team in those kind of areas? Now, I totally understand if it's a case of Florian Wirtz was playing a bit deeper or Cherky was playing a bit deeper or whatever, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll take a little look here. Let's look at his heat map. So obviously, when you look at the heat map, this is obviously Florian Wirtz in the Premier League for this season. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he's playing in further forward in these kind of areas. So there isn't the excuse of, yeah, but you know what? He's been put into DM or he's been put into defensive midfield and he's a deep line playmaker and stuff. Listen, maybe the manager told him he should be picking up the ball from the centre backs. I don't know. But that was something that when I saw it earlier on in the season, I kept saying, like, why? Like, you don't need him picking up the ball in these kind of areas. Remember, we are not Manchester City in terms of our fluidity. We never will be Manchester City because we don't have Pep Guardiola and we don't have those type of players. So it's just one of those kind of things. That's fine. But I felt like people always trying to make excuses as to why. I was like, nah, like I think that's just someone who's very desperate at this moment in time, who feels like they need to always be on the ball to try and make something happen, which is great. But ultimately, you ain't making nothing happen. So you're actually more of a hindrance more than anything else. Now, some of the things you do on the ball, and you can see people are speaking a lot about Curtis Jones, Florian Wirtz, Ekatike, like those three players having some kind of like synergy between the three of them kind of thing, right? I get that. In fact, I haven't really seen it, but you know what? I'll agree, and I ain't even really seen it. I can imagine so. I've seen Ekatike to Wirtz. I ain't really seen Curtis Jones to Wirtz like that kind of thing in recent games, but I can understand that, of course. Like they're all technical players, so I kind of would have kind of expect them to have that. It's just whether that's going to be conducive to Liverpool, obviously doing well, especially in those attacking areas and, little things like that. He's played 1,004 minutes in the Premier League so far. So it's not like he's playing under 1,000 minutes and you're like, oh man. I mean, I know he got dropped from a few, I say dropped, people are going to say rotated, but he didn't start a few of the big games so far this season. Manager has obviously explained that. Looking at his stats here, his expected goals, 2.12, whatever that means. I mean, he ain't scored, so yeah, that is what it is. Let's look at his passing, expected assist, again, whatever that means. He takes around 47.4 touches per game. He's only created one big chance, and he only creates 1.7 per game, key passes, sorry, per game. He's only created one big chance. Again, I do look at that and I think, you've only created one big chance. Okay, fair. I'd have to look at what it was. You know what? I'll look at that in a minute. What it was like for Bayern Leverkusen last season. What else is there? Accurate passes, 28.3 per game. Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's get this out of there. Defending. I actually don't even care about his defending, but he makes 1.1 tackles per game. He recovers the ball 3.2 times. Successful dribbles, he averages less than 1 per game. Total duels, again, 3 per game. Ground duels, 2.8 at 49%. I mean, his defensive stats seem a lot better than his actual attacking stats. That like for me does not bode well. Like we've already got Zoboszlai doing that role, so are we going to have two of those guys doing that same kind of role? Now, obviously, if that helps Liverpool moving forward, the bigger picture is you won't really care, right? It will just be one of those things that you just say, listen, you were this guy before, like we did with Zoboszlai. You were this guy before, the guy who was known for, can always score the goals, you get the assists, you're this guy, that whatever. But then we've over here in the Premier League and for Liverpool, you got to be this guy. So you got to kind of just settle a little piece. You just got to relax and, you'll be able to do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll be able to do your thing and it shouldn't be too much of an issue for, for Liverpool moving forward. But yeah, like I said, it's just something that I look at and I'm just like, I'm not really kind of feeling that, if I'm being 100% honest. And again, like I said, you do watch the game with your eyes, but at the same time, yeah, there needs to be something. There has to be at least something for me to at least say, you know what, actually, he's not getting as much as he should be getting, but ultimately you can see he's in the right places at the right times. He's in the right positions, when he needs to be. He's doing something else. I don't know, and I don't feel like he's even doing something else enough to warrant me saying, "Oh yeah," but do you get what I'm saying? Like I said, he's had good moments. Like, and listen, guys, you can probably point to games this season where you're like, yeah, but remember in the 24th minute of this game, and remember in the 38th minute of this game, or remember between the I don't know, the 60th and the 80th minute of this game. Like, you probably could. And again, I'm not even here to disagree about that. I'm really not. But I've not seen him run any game. That's a fact. That I can definitely tell you. He ain't run no game. Not one game this season has he run. And I'm just like, okay, fair enough. That's not, maybe we can look at that and say context. Maybe that's not your role. Maybe that's for someone else to do, blah, blah, blah. As I say, I mean, when could he have? Because Liverpool have lost 9 in 12 previously, before this kind of run of games. So maybe that will come. And obviously, if it does come, great. I like Florian Wirtz, a good player. But at, I am a little bit like, ooh, I think the screen's just gone there. Give me 2 secs, people. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah. I think at this moment in time, I am a little bit like with Flo, yo, we need to kind of just, yeah, we need something, in my opinion, we need something a little bit more, in my personal opinion. Just give me 2 secs, people. Two secs. Let me take this off. Don't know why it was acting up there. Let's turn this camera back on. Just give me 2 secs, people. 2 seconds. Your browser has lost connection to your camera. Don't understand why. I don't understand why. Let's see if we can just use the laptop camera instead. That might actually be a lot better. Just give me 2 secs, peeps. Give me two seconds. There we go. Oh no, still not back on. Let me see if we can. There we go. Yeah, I'll just use this camera for the time. See, this camera's rubbish. This is why I don't even like using this. We'll use this for the time being anyway. But yeah, man, I think like when I'm kind of just looking at it, I am a little bit, like I said, I'm more underwhelmed more than anything else when it does come to Florian Wirtz and just what he could be offering Liverpool at this moment in time. I just think that there is a lot more to his game. I think Arne Slot needs to get more out of him because at this moment in time, like I said, what he was doing, Dominic Szoboszlai was doing last season. I mean, most people have also spoken about Harvey Elliott as well being a player that, I mean, he's gone out on loan. He ain't even playing games at, Aston Villa. Could we have just used him instead? I mean, I feel like that could have been something that we could have easily have done. Someone who's a bit more acclimatized to the Premier League as well. So yeah, man, it's just one of those, man. It's one of those. Big up, Fuzzy, man. No, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just chilling, man. I'm just one of those like Sunday thoughts. Sunday thoughts, man. Yeah, one of those Sunday thoughts, bro. One of those Sunday thoughts, man. How have you been? How have you been? But yeah, like I said, I don't want people to get on. Well, Liverpool fans ain't doing that anyway. Obviously, it's rivals and stuff like that. But at the same time, there are some Liverpool fans I do think that maybe being a little bit harsh with the criticism, but at the same time, I feel like they have to be because I feel like quite a lot of people have been over-exaggerating the effect that he's having, on Liverpool. I don't feel that if you took Florian Wirtz out of the team, right, I don't think Liverpool would be any worse off, if that kind of makes sense. Like, I don't look at it and think, oh man, you know what? If we didn't have Wirtz, or you know what, we'd be 10 times worse. Like, we'd be 7 positions off. I don't think it's that deep. I really don't. I really don't think it's going to ever be. Well, at this moment in time, I don't think it's that deep. I don't think he's a key player. And again, I'm not even saying that. Well, no, it's a lie. I expected instant results. I feel like with the reputation you came into the team, definitely same thing with Isak, bruv. Like, I expect way more than what you're giving me. Like, definitely. Maybe not the stupid expectations I might have had, but I definitely expect better results than what you're currently giving the team. And I feel like Florian Wirtz is in that same mode. I'm like, yeah, I do expect a little bit more. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, whether that is because people have done this thing recently. I'm seeing, yeah, well, Pedri and Vitinha, yeah, man, like they're guys who they don't get GA like that. And I'm like, I hear that. Like, I honestly hear that. But this season they have. Do you get what I'm saying? Last season they did. And they played deeper positions. Do you get what I'm saying? They played deeper positions than him. I think I'm going to say Pedri's on maybe 8 GA and Vitinha's on like 13. I'm sure I checked it earlier on. Could be wrong. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm sure that was the case. So when I saw that, I was a bit like, you get what I'm saying? Like, these are guys who play in deeper positions, in deeper roles. I mean, they can do it. Do you get what I'm saying? And now, obviously, they're in a lot more settled teams and, you know, they've not moved teams, so to speak. I mean, Vitinha hadn't been at PSG that long, but obviously he's in a settled team and he's in a settled side under a really, really good manager that I respect. So I guess it's understandable. So again, applying the context and stuff like that. But yeah, I just expect a little bit more from Florian Wirtz. That's all. Not to really criticize him. Like I said, he's clearly a fabulous player. Like, I don't, and you know, I do not say that about many Liverpool players. Like, I do think he is actually a good player. I just think right now you are not showing me that, though. Do you get what I'm saying? And yes, you signed him for 5-6 years. I hear all of that. Yeah, you didn't sign him for this season. You signed him for, I mean, I signed him to do something now and continue. I didn't sign him so that in 4 years' time, we're like, yeah, this is going to be the guy. And in 4 years' time, people are telling me he's the best number 10 in the world. I can't lie. If you're the best number 10, you definitely got to be doing more. Forget what the team's doing. That's even irrelevant at this point. Just you got to do more. Do you get what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of people who eat regardless of what the teams are doing. Those are the great players that I see. Great players will always eat. They will always be doing something. Always just being a nuisance in some way, shape, or form, regardless of what the team's doing. Team can finish 5th, 4th, whatever. Don't win nothing the whole season. Guess what? You're still eating, though. You're still eating. Do you get what I'm saying? And I just think that's all it is with Florian Wirtz at this moment in time. He does need to add some of that. Like, I mean, I don't know how long people are going to allow it to just be a case of, no, it's calm. Like, you know what I mean? He's running around. I think his distance covered this season. Like honestly, I don't care. Like, why? I don't even know why people care about that. Why do you care that your number 10 runs around a lot? Did you get, like, why is that something that you look at with a smile on your face, or you bring it up in a conversation to add to the point that you're trying to make about him being this, that, and that? No. Do you know what I'm saying? No. That's not. No. We're like, I'm not entertaining any conversations that someone brings up and they bring up, but look, his distance. Fuck your distance covered, bro. Like, I don't care about your distance covered. Go cover that shit somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see you add something. Like, you know what? We saw the stat there about he's only had one big chance created in the entire time he's played in the Premier League. In 1,004 minutes, you've only created one big chance. Like, if that was more, I'd be a bit more lenient. And I might, and I would hear more of what people say in regards to, but come on, G, watch the game, because 100% watch the game with your eyes, but you've only created one big chance. So my eyes are showing me that you're not even creating chances like that. I don't care about the chances you're creating. How many big chances are you creating? Because chances could just be chances. Big chances. Are you putting them on a play? Are you, putting players in position? Now, like I said, it's not all his fault. Because like I said, the manager's crap. So the manager, his tactics, the way that he had the team or has the team playing, in my opinion, it wasn't effective for someone like Florian Wirtz to just come in, plug and play, and then he can just kind of go. And all we were supposed to be doing was you take Szoboszlai out of that position, you put Florian Wirtz in that position, bang. bang, straight away, goals, assists, chances, left, right, and center. You know what I'm saying? We should be looking at Isak or Ekitike and saying, bruv, they've had like 30 big chances, but they've only scored 9, like a Nunes or something. 9's probably a bit too generous, but you know what I mean? It should be something like that, but we're not seeing that. And that's what bugs me more than anything, is that I'm not even seeing that part. So if I'm not seeing that, do you get what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not to, I really don't want this to come across as, I don't like Florian Wirtz. I like him as a footballer. I think he is a good player. Do I think he'll come good? Yeah. With a new manager, I think he can come really, really good. I think a different manager can get a different kind of outlook with him. And I'm not just talking, I'm talking just have him creating more. Because, I mean, didn't watch the game, but if I'm just thinking back to the other games prior to this last match, right, I'm sitting there thinking Liverpool don't really create big chances like that for the striker. They definitely don't create for the striker. Ekitike against Leeds, what a mistake. And you know what I mean? Like a transition, like, no, we're not creating any chances. So I'm not going to put that solely on him. I definitely can't put that all on Florian Wirtz, because then I feel like that's being a little bit disingenuous, because ultimately he's playing in a system that's the main kind of thing, right? In terms of keep possession, control, do that. Yeah, I hear all of that. And people always like to reference Barcelona, always like to reference Manchester City. And I'm like, bro, I beg you guys go back and watch the games. In fact, don't even do that. Don't even waste your time. Just go and look at the stats. Look at the chances that they create in those said games. That people are always like, yeah, but you know what? Man City, when they were passing around, yeah, but they were creating chances left, right, and center. It was ridiculous. We don't even want to go to Barcelona, because that's just that was a cheat code in itself because of the players that you had. So let's even forget them. Just talking about Manchester City, but they create chances all the time, man. So I can't really hear that rhetoric in terms of like, yeah, but nah, I don't really want to hear that. He needs to do more GA big chances wise, but let's be real, our system sucks 100%, bro, 100%. You can still see Wirtz as a baller and he will come good. Yeah, listen, he's a baller. There's no two ways about that. I'm not going to entertain any of that conversation. He is a baller. But you're just not really doing enough for me. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, really, I'm not even going to say it. I'll wait until this season is done and we'll see how Florian Wirtz ends up. But I don't see much difference between when people talk about Doku and they talk about Wirtz. Like, I'm looking at them, I'm like, it's the same thing. Do you get what I'm saying? The same thing you get onto Doku for is the same thing that you should be getting onto Florian Wirtz for. The exact same thing. We're not creating at all the chances we get, or we're not creating at all the chances we get our turnovers. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, and I hate that kind of football, brother. It's so annoying, bro. It's so annoying because, I don't like that football. Whatever. If that's the kind of football you want to play, whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? But then I just don't see Florian, or it's going to take him time. Let me even give him the benefit of the doubt. He probably could adjust to that. But then you're going to have to change your game a bit too much. And I would just like, right, if we just sign players and you just get them doing what they were doing. I've seen all the Semenyo talk and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? He's not a bad player. Is he going to do what he was doing at Bournemouth? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say you're going to get him doing something completely different. Do you get what I'm saying? Like something that's just going to take him a long time to adjust to. And he'll have moments, he'll have games where you're like, oh my days, but cool. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas I don't feel like Ekitike has changed his game much from what he was doing at Frankfurt. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the same things he was doing at Frankfurt are the same things he's doing here. Just less of it because he's not, obviously, he's not starting as much, and Isak sometimes plays, and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I just feel when you get, honestly, Kirkes is another one. You know what I'm saying? You got Kirkes doing up third centre back, and what? Like, just get them doing what they were doing, bro. Just get them doing what they were doing before. And I feel that if that's the reason why you like them, obviously there's other things that I'm not privy to. But if that's one of the reasons why you sign these players, bro, just get them doing that. Get them in a system that the system that you saw them play is the same system that you should just even play. Just because he should be then your main guy. Then this whole thing about Salah and Reta, we wouldn't even care because Wirtz will be doing the business. Wirtz will be doing this, that, and the third. Wirtz looks comfortable. He's taken to the league, yada, yada, yada. But we're not really doing that. And Yeah. Off topic, ifs, buts, and or maybes. Let's be real, Bayern got Wirtz. We won't be seeing their star boy Leonard Carr to the heart. Very true. And he looks like a really good player. Like, really good. Like, so good that I'm trying to figure out when Musiala comes back. Obviously, Elise it ain't moving. Well, I mean, you could put Elise maybe in that position, maybe Leonard Carl out where, yeah, true, yeah, you could just do that. Or Leonard Carl through I don't know. I don't know how Bayern Munich, I don't know how Vincent Company is gonna play that when Musiala then comes back and then you still got Diaz. Bro, that attack is ridiculous, bro. That attack is actually, I mean, you got in my opinion, the second best striker in world football, just behind Haaland. You've got, and you know what? If you put him first, I'm not even arguing with you. You got Elise, who I think is one of the best wingers in world football. Jamal Musiala, in my opinion, is one of the best attacking players in world football. Obviously, he's been injured, so I can't speak on the last year. But prior to that, in my opinion, he was, one of the best attacking players. And I say attacking players, I'm not even putting a position because through the middle, out wide, up front, yeah, he's come at all of those positions. They've added Diaz, who's obviously doing his thing now at Bayern Munich, showing way more consistency than I've ever seen from him. Add Leonard Carl, Serge Gnabry as your bench player, as your guy that you just bring off the bench or you play in these dead rubber games. Oh, that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. What I will say to G, if we look at Hugo, he is balling out despite our system, so it can also be exclusive for Wirtz. Let's see. Hugo plays with him, with Wim, unlike Wirtz and Isak, who are playing within themselves. Yeah, but I do think as well, I agree, by the way, totally agree. But I also, to add to that point, I do think that Ekatike is not playing that much different to what he was doing from what I saw. I didn't see every Frankfurt game. Definitely wasn't watching them like that in the Bundesliga. But from the little I did see, I don't really feel like it's that much different that I'm seeing in his game where I'm like, oh, rah, you know what? I feel like, you're just kind of doing the same things. Doing the same kind of things, taking the ball in the same kind of positions, doing the same things when you're on the ball, off the ball. You've just applied that to Liverpool. And I feel like that's the reason why it would work, because you just got him doing like his role with it in Liverpool's team, I guess, is somewhat similar to the kind of role that he would have been doing at Frankfurt. Somewhat similar, not exactly the same, but similar enough. Whereas I don't think Wirtz is similar at all. Like, I really don't. Like, the off the ball stuff, I feel, yes, people are going to point to the stats. Yeah, but Wirtz off the ball, he used to press, and that was all I kept seeing. Yeah, he was good at whatever. The onus wasn't really on him like that. You know what I'm saying? He had 2, 3, 4 guys behind him where that onus was really on in terms of all that pressing and defensive work. His game was further forward. He's not picking up the ball from the freaking centre back, trying to dribble and pass and move. Forget all of that. Get Wirtz in those in almost playing as like a second striker. You're good to go. Him, Boniface, whoever else in and around him. You got Frimpong on one side. You got Grimaldo on the other side. That's where he wants to play his game. Coming off that left hand side, like that was his game. You know what I'm saying? Whereas now I'm like I said, you're picking up the ball from the centre back and you're playing next to Gravenberch, and then he's out there on the left back position, and I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to see you there. I really don't. I really, really don't. Carlo's a baller, man. At 17, already making big impact. He has that stardust. It probably looks like such a quality player, but we got to see. Do you know what I mean? Some players you can just bang come in, and then over time you start to see like, do you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that will happen to him, but he looks good now. But let's see how that works out for him. Big up for me. Wirtz should still have that Bruno Fernandes effect where he's still creating despite I should have used him as an example. Bruno Fernandes creates chances like there is no tomorrow. I promise you, if you look at the stats, he creates so many chances. And I promise you, he's definitely not that pleasing on the eye. He isn't. He's not one of them kind of players where you're like, yeah, he looks so great. No, he doesn't. Fantastic ball striking ability. But that's really about it in terms of on the eye when you're watching Bruno Fernandes. But I promise you, he creates chances. He creates so many chances. Unfortunately, he's had freaking Højlund up front. He's got Sesko now. Like, Zirks, like, bro, he's been playing with some dead strikers for ages. You know what I'm saying? He won't play with no Salah. We weren't playing with no whoever. Like, you know what I'm saying? You weren't playing with these kind of Isaks, TKs and that. You ain't playing with these guys. I was playing with freaking, like I said, Hoyland. Like that's the level of player that he was around, was like them kind of guys. So I understood when it's like, yeah, they're not really being converted. Well, I mean, he was still converting them to assists, just not as much as it probably should have been in a different team. Fucking hell, man. Bruno Fernandes would be you'd look at him differently, I think, anyway. You'd definitely look at him differently. One thing we can all agree is we need a new manager. Yes, man. Need to keep screaming that from the top of the hill. Need to keep screaming that, man. Need to get this manager out of here. I'm not trying to see this guy's face any longer. I promise you. It's actually annoying me day by day. The longer this kind of just goes on, I'm just like, bro, like, whatever. You definitely see his level go up when he plays with a Curtis and Hugo together. Yeah. I spoke about that earlier on, 100%. I agree, but I would say about Bruno, he kind of just does his own thing, but because of the way he plays, it causes transition issues for United as Bruno constantly losing the ball. Yeah. I guess that's the trade-off, really and truly, innit? I guess that'll probably be their trade-off with, obviously, Man United fans will be able to talk on this a lot better. So I'm only looking at it from one perspective of just the attacking side. But yeah, you're right, 100%. That is something that I do see quite a lot of Manchester United fans complain about, is that, yeah, he loses the ball quite a bit. He loses the ball in dangerous areas and stuff like that. But like I said, I guess that's just really the trade-off with him. I just want to see more of them dinks over the top, like a Bruno, like a Ødegaard, like a Palmer, consistently just on the yes. And you know, I said this a little while ago, right? I mentioned this about let me change the light actually. There we go. So I said this about Cole Palmer. I was doing a video on Esteval, right? And Enzo Maresca was speaking about, he was speaking about Esteval, and he was talking about how in the Premier League at this current moment in time, Esteval, who would be, I guess, normally just a number 10 or someone who can float into that kind of position, in the Premier League, he's not a number 10 at this moment in time. He might obviously become that later on, but for the time being, he's not. He's going to have to play out wide. And that was more for him to learn the Premier League, learn the basics, learn the Premier League, learn what it's like to come up against a player touch tight, someone who's going to follow you around, someone who, is going to tackle you on your first touch, like all of those kind of things, right? Learn all of that out wide. So when you come into the middle, you don't feel that pressure. Again, you've never played in the Premier League. This is obviously talking about Esteval, right? You've never played in the Premier League. You don't know the intensity. It's going to be different. I'm not saying the intensity is more or less in Brazil. It's just different. It's just not the same. Do you get what I'm saying? Where he was obviously used to it, because obviously that's where he's come from. Same thing I feel like with Wirtz was that I just feel like number 10s do not thrive here in the Premier League. Very rarely do they anyway. Cole Palmer would be probably one of the only ones. But again, if we looked at Cole Palmer's heat map, which I have numerous times, it's not really like, it's number 10, but it's like out wide, and he floats. Ødegaard was called a number 10 for years. Is he though? Is he just not more just an attacking number 8 more than anything? Someone who drifts out wide anyway. Yeah, I'm saying playing those 1-2s of Saka constantly. Like it's in, I don't know what part of the pitch to call it, but in that kind of like quadrant on that right hand side usually, right? That's where I see these kind of players play. It's not necessarily through the middle. It's come into the middle, stay out wide, vice versa, stay out wide, come into the middle. Like that's what they're kind of doing. Whereas with Wirtz, I do feel like, yeah, you know what? He, at times, yes, he's out wide. At times, obviously, he comes through the middle, but he's not really doing anything. And the onus isn't really on him to really do anything. I don't know. So, yeah. It's one of those. That's something to think about, I guess, in regards to him. G, would you say Jones is that midfielder you like in our midfield? Do you still think Wharton is the one we should go for? I probably need to see more of Jones, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really seen too much of him enough to really make that statement. Trying to think. Wharton, yeah. Probably. Did you see the dink over the top today? Is it today that Man City played? Oh, you know what? When you don't watch the football, I swear your days just phew. But yeah, either way, against Manchester City, I saw the dink over the top, right? I saw the highlights anyway. I saw that dink over the top, and I was like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was Pino, and Pino ended up missing, or hit the bar, should I say? But yeah, I was like, yeah, I need more of those. I need more of those. You know what I'm saying? Like I need that for my midfield. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I see it a lot with Pedri. I see it a lot with Vitinha. I see it a lot with those kind of players. So Jones don't really do that, to be fair. Jones is just really comfortable in like possession, and his pass completion is always going to be like 95% and stuff like that. The thing is, he'd be good alongside those other players. That's what I think. Because when I feel like you're alongside a Gravenberch, a Szoboszlai, a Wirtz, a McAllister, I don't really rate them like that. But Wirtz is probably the only one. The rest of them, they do their job. They do a job, but they're not really guys that I look at and think, yeah, you man ain't really here to play football though, man. You guys are just here to just run around and cover space here, and but all of you are doing it. So like no one is playing that ball. So I'm like, bro, at least have one guy who can kick a bit of football in the middle of the park. Do you get what I'm saying? So if it has to be Jones, then great. Do you get what I'm saying? Like let him, I guess, do that. Give him maybe a bit more authority. Maybe it's that. Maybe the relationship even gets better between him, Wirtz. Maybe it does. But we're in December at this moment in time, and I ain't seen shit. So yeah, I'm definitely not holding my breath anymore for these guys. I see Wirtz doing those passes for Germany all the time. He has the passing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And this is what I'm saying. It's not even like he doesn't have it in his locker or what. But he does. He blatantly does. But also feel when you're moving around, free roam, just buzzing, you're harder to pick up, which is helpful if you're not a physical. Exactly. This is all I'm saying. It's just more of that with someone like Florian Wirtz. His teammates need to pass the ball to him. That's why he's dropping that deep. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Big up goal ratio, man. Hope you're doing well this evening. I'm gonna wrap it up soon, guys. Anyway, yeah, that was the first time Slot played with 5 midfielders and Gomez at right back. Why do you think this is? Chiesa was available. I don't know. That's actually a good question. I guess, hey, ask Ens tomorrow if he does a stream why he did that. I don't know. So then the blue F50 Spider remake versus wearing proper throwback. Yeah, come on, man. Boot watch. Hey, pick up and top Lizzy, man. Flipping hell. Yo, it's been a long time, bro. I know he was in the chat the other day, but yeah, no, it's been a long time, bro. It's been a long time. So would our midfield be Wharton, Zobo, Wirtz? I guess if he's gonna go with 3 in the midfield like that, I don't know if he wants to then go with 4. I don't know. Like I'm if anything, I'm asking you guys actually. To be fair, do you think he wants to go with a 4 instead? Do you think it will just revert back to a 3? Maybe once he gets in a Wharton or someone like that. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be. Well, he's not going to be able to get a Wharton in like January, so that's going to have to wait until the summer. So, if we're just looking at it from a short-term view in terms of just for this season, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I feel like you have to have Zobo in there because you do need to have at least one of those guys who does just run around. Wirtz, yeah, I don't know, man. But like I said, he just got to show me more for me to be like, Wirtz has to play. Like, he's got to be a mainstay in the team. When you show me that, then calm. At the moment, you ain't shown me that. And I feel like when Liverpool have played somewhat better, I feel like he hasn't been starting the games. But I could be wrong. Could be wrong though. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to pin it all on him. Thank you, G. The more I watch players like Grav and Zobo, I realize how technically incomparable they are to a Curtis who is below even the best. You get what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm like, these guys are not really good footballers like that. I'll be honest. You know what I'm saying? And listen, not everybody needs to be a banging footballer. Like ultimately, you can fill a role within a team, right? And if your role is going to help for the greater good, then it doesn't really matter. But you just notice these things when you're around those type of players. And when you're not doing much of anything else, I am a little bit like, don't get twisted. We've got a video loading for Gravenberch as well. Don't be fooled. Like that video is coming. Might even do it this week because I think he's been stinky this season. But I don't really feel like many people talk about that because they felt like he was so great last season. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, and I don't think he's been that good this season at all. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's going to have an adverse effect on other players within that midfield. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just one of those kind of things. G, explain what Alexis McAllister's role in this team is. Bruv, don't even talk to me about it. Ask Savage what that role is. Because I don't know. I don't rate him. And yeah, he's one of them ones where I'm like, bro, if you bounce tomorrow, I promise you, will probably even look better. I promise. Yeah, if we played with the 4, then I would be Wharton, Zobo, Jones, and Wirtz. Maybe Jones is just in a good moment. I don't even know. Like, you know me, man. Like, it takes me a long time to really look at a player and be like, yeah, you're either the one or you're shit or whatever. Unless you're just really dead. Like, unless you're like Nunes level, where I'm like, oh my god, after like 3 games, you could tell this guy was rubbish. But yeah. Like Jones, he's been here for so long, bro. And I said anyway at the end of last season in the summer, I was like, bro, this has to be the season that you cement some type of place in the team, bro. You can't just keep being this bench guy, comes in, not that important, play him, looks okay, don't play. Like, come on, man. Even just for your career alone. Bro, Grav touch is so shit. He's like a bro, honestly. Like, you know what? Grav has got that turn, that the swivel thing. He's got that on lock. I will give him that. He's 100% got that on lock. But that is about it. Guy is not that great at like, he's not even that good at passing. He's dribbling. It's just bare long ass strides and that. Like, bruv, yeah, I'm not trying to hear it. And then you look at City, you have runners, sure, but technically on it, physically on it, composure on it, 100%. That's what I like, Manchester City. Since when did Curtis Jones have the dribbling thing? My guy pulling out chops and that. I think he always actually had it, to be fair. Remember, Curtis Jones was, like, you got, come on, man. You remember Jones with, obviously I know it's his youth days, so take that with a pinch of salt. But I remember watching Jones in the youth days. Brother, he was doing more than, trust me, he was doing more than what he's doing now. Trust. He was like a proper skill man. Like, he could do that stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Obviously, I knew it was never going to translate in that kind of way because of the position that obviously he started playing for Liverpool. But yeah, when he was in the youth team, I thought, yeah, this guy was on serious. Like, he looked older than the other players. Like, he just looked it from young. Just the way he played was so mature. Gavin Mack are average. Yeah, man. I think they're super average. I think they're so average. G, did you watch Shirky today? The guy is a joke. No, I didn't. I didn't watch any Premier League football this weekend. Didn't watch any. It's coming up to Christmas, guys, man. You know what I mean? My son's birthday as well. Like, my brain is not going to be here for the next, like, I don't know, 16, 17 days of this calendar year. So, or calendar month, should I say? So, yeah, I'm going to catch games every now and again if I can, if I sit down long enough to be able to watch them. But yeah, more time. I'm just going to try and catch the highlights of some of these games. But I saw the highlight of Manchester City, and then I saw clips. Someone put up like a compilation of Cherky's game. Obviously, these are just comps, so I can't speak to the game itself. But I wanted Cherky. Let's put it that way. I wanted Cherky, and I didn't want Kirkes. Those are the two things I know I did want in the summer. Take that how you will. New midfield needs to be Wharton, Jones, Zobo, Wirtz in a diamond formation. Yeah, 100%. That could work. I'm not even saying that can't work. But Isak needs to start scoring some goals before we start putting him in a 2. Yeah, I get you, G. Yeah, you like a bigger sample size before. Yeah, because I don't want to crash it on a player. It's not even about, oh, yeah, because then you're wrong. It's just, I don't want to crash it on him just yet. Do you get what I'm saying? And when you're a player who's come with a big reputation like Florian, remember, Wirtz didn't come here as just like some random Brazilian or South American guy, but we've just spent hella money on him. Like, no, let me not say random. He didn't even come here with a reputation of like an Endrick, right? Someone who never played in Europe. You don't know, but you've signed him for 100 million or 100 million plus. Because then it's like, oh, okay. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he didn't even come in with that kind of reputation. Like, you came here as like, yo, like, Florian Wirtz is a good player. He's been showing for the last 2-3 seasons. Ever since he came back from that ACL, I think, injury, he's been really, really good. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he has actually been good. So when I then watch him now, I'm like, oh, Jesus. I know some people can't take to the Premier League, but goddamn. Like, I didn't expect it to be this bad. And then you see him near the 10. What's the point? We need that 10 deeper. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Gav passing is also so shit. Can't cross as well. Always passing back. I think Cherky performances are being overplayed because City are winning, and every time he sets up Haaland, he scores because Haaland is a freak. Again, I would agree with that. I do definitely agree with that. When you play with a freak up front, you can always look good. Like, you'll look. was going to say you'll look better than you probably are, but then that's going to be disingenuous to like Iniesta and Xavi and that. So some people might over-exaggerate how good you really are. Let's put it that way. Palace slapped City up, unlucky not to get something in the game. Fairs. I'm a bit annoyed. I saw the scoreline. I was like, come on, Palace. He actually can't just be a cog in the machine. He has to be the machine. Glasner pisses me off, but tactically, man, is very good. Yeah, it's true. I mean, they played Manchester City. I mean, yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Like, I feel like with Glasner, right, when I'm thinking about it, and I've been thinking about this quite a bit, because they were talking about this on TalkSport the other day about, whether or not he would leave and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, he probably would leave. But I don't feel like, and I can't remember who said it, but one of them said it and I agreed. I don't feel like they're giving him enough to stay. Like, I don't know, like there's something going on. Like, I feel like he has a bigger vision for Crystal Palace than Crystal Palace do. But I understand where Crystal Palace, in terms of the chairman, Steve Parish, I understand where he's coming from in terms of sustainability. He probably doesn't want to do the thing of, because they probably could spend money. I don't know how much. I really don't know their finances. But they probably could spend a bit more money, get some more quality players in, like a Yeremy Pino. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get players of that kind of ilk, maybe more of them. But then he's thinking, sustainability. If this don't work out or the manager does leave, yeah, like, is it going to be the same? Like, I understand both sides of it. I really do. Like, I can see he's got a bigger vision. I feel like he sees Crystal Palace like, bruv, like, what do you mean? Like, we can do something. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, they lost 3-0 today, but they're still up there in the Premier League. I'm not saying they're going to stay there, but they can definitely finish in Europe, for example, via the Premier League places. I think they're good enough to do so, and I think they're better than a lot of teams in the Premier League. But I just don't think the club are matching those same ambitions. And that's where there's going to be a bit of a tug of war come the end of the season. I think it's going to depend quite a lot on where Palace finish and what Steve Parish then has to say in regards to, let's say they finish in Europa League. Let's use the Europa League, right? They finish in Europa League, a Europa League position, and then Parish says, listen, I'm going to loosen the purse strings. We want you to be the guy who takes us into this new realm. Then I think he stays. If not, I just think the call of other teams might just be a bit too big. Do you get what I'm saying? But listen, we'll wait and see. The Prem's a huge step up, and now he's adapted more to the league. The performances are improving. Fairs. Cherki has been class, though. Bro, he's been, some of the games I've seen from Cherki have been ridiculous. They actually haven't. And again, he's a player that you look at and you say, I'm not saying he won't get GA because obviously he's got it, but even when he doesn't get it, it's just certain things that you do on the pitch that I'm just like, okay, that's going to lead to something later on. Do you get, like, it might be the pass before the pass before the pass to the goal, whatever, but it's going to lead to something. You're important. You're quite impactful anyway when you're on the pitch. Opposition players get drawn to you because of that. Because, prime example, the goal that he set up for Phil Foden, right? You got one player running with him. I can't remember who it was. One who's coming facing him, obviously wanted to tackle him. One on the other side. That's about 3 players. So 3 players have now been taken out of their own position just to get him. Now, obviously got the assist, but had it resulted in maybe Foden passes it and then someone else scores, it's the same kind of thing. And he does that quite a lot. He draws players to him. So he might not always get the assist, but that's what I see. I'm not saying Wirtz hasn't done it, because I'm pretty sure someone's going to be able to show me a still from a game and clip from a game. I just don't think it's enough. I don't feel like people look at him enough and be like, yeah, we need to super worry about this guy. Do you get what I'm saying? And now that might be to the betterment of Liverpool, because you underestimate him. He'll show you what he's all about, because Wirtz is a good player. I'm just not seeing that enough. But then again, to caveat even all of that, like I said, or someone said before, the manager system sucks, and the manager sucks. So yeah, it is one of those. Like, it's going to be difficult, really, for anybody really to really thrive like that. There's many managers who can do a job at a mid-table club but can't hack a big team, like Thomas Frank, Nuno. Not sure. Yeah, listen. Look, Thomas Frank. Well, Tottenham fans want him out. Yo, from what I hear, obviously I don't know now, but I'm pretty sure a week ago they wanted this guy out of the football club. Like, they were not happy with the way it is. And again, this is what I'm talking about, people about style of play. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're winning, bro. Like, I feel like people tie the two too much together sometimes. it doesn't even matter. Bro, even the guy I wasn't even that cool with, Jurgen Klopp, even said it. Even I agreed. Big clubs have to play in a certain kind of way. It can't just be, yeah, you win. Unless you're going to be a team that plays dead football, but always win. And that is the only trade-off that can be allowed in these type of situations. Like Real Madrid at times played some dead football. But bruv, when you're winning trebles and that, you think man cares about your dead football? You're winning trebles. You know, no one cares. Nobody cares. But if you can't operate at that level, guess what? Following season, they played the same dead football, weren't winning anything. Yeah, now man are saying, yeah, Ancelotti's lost it. He's done. He's this. Ancelotti, crazy. But it's because when you're at these top clubs, it's either play dead, win everything, play brilliant, and still have to kind of win. But you'll get the blight in certain situations, in certain instances, because people can almost get with it. They'll actually enjoy watching the games. How many of you in the chat here have said, I don't want to watch the Liverpool game. Watching Liverpool's dead. It's an eyesore. This, that, bro. At first, it was just me. And I do mean just me, who just stopped watching the games in a general sense, because I was like, bro, why am I wasting my weekends watching something that I don't enjoy? Like, to me, that just sounds dumb. And the way I work in logic, I can't, my brain won't allow me to just, yeah, I'm going to sit down, watch something I don't like, complain about the thing that I don't like, and just carry on. Now, all of a sudden, people are like, bro, I don't want to watch the games no more. I feel like, and I was like, yeah, it's about time, because the football is so dire, it's hurting you. It's hurting you watching your team play such dire football. Doesn't even matter if you're winning. First 5 games of the season, Liverpool won all those games. Playing horrible football, playing horrible. And you're just sitting there thinking, bro, like, you're getting the blight because you're winning. You're just getting that blight. But eventually, bro, you're like, I can't keep watching this, man. Like, I really can't keep watching, dire football like that. And yeah, it's just one of them things, man. It's just one of them things, man. Big up Scraps, man. Hope you had a good weekend, bro. Hope you had a good weekend. Trust G, Wirtz will be great. Just need this manager gone. There is a reason Pep wanted Wirtz for first. Yeah. And imagine what he'd be doing there. Man, if only we could ever see like an alternate universe, boy. Jesus Christ. Really, if we hype in the past before the past, then why aren't we saying the same for Wirtz? Because I've seen several times Wirtz doing a great play that leads to a goal, but everyone will say no GA. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying before about people overhype on both sides. So that you got the people who only care about the stats, who would criticize Wirtz in these kind of moments, and then you got the people who don't really care about the stats and more care about just the player themselves, who overhype that moment. I feel like you can actually just find a medium between the two. I feel like it could just be like, nah, bro, like, look what he's doing. And like I said, he's had his good moments. I don't think he's been all shit. Like, I don't think he's been shit or anything. It's just more, you've not lived up to, forget even my own expectations because they were stupidly unrealistic. I was just hoping more than anything. You've just not really lived up to even even my lowest expectation for you, you've not even hit those. And I'm just like, oh man, like, I feel like that's bad. I feel like that's really, really bad. But Andy's saying I watch as many as I can, but I'm not augmenting my plans for Liverpool unless that's what I'm saying, bro. Unless it's a big game, bro, I'm not sitting there watching Liverpool versus Brighton, bro. Like, I was at Santa's Grotto. How about that? Like, I'm not coming home to watch that. Like, that don't make sense to me. I've been waiting 18 months for this live stream. Obviously, bro, shut up, man. Wirtz was poor at the beginning of the season, but he's coming into his own recently, and the best is yet to come. I hope so, man. I really, really do hope so, peeps. I really do hope so. I would say the players around him definitely aren't on his wavelength yet. Yeah, but Gakpo is shit. Now, there's a player who's been here for so long, we can now call him either good or bad. He is dead. He is dead. Like, he is actually dead. Like, he's dead. He's actually dead. I haven't got even any more to say about him, but he's just dead. He's just dead. But listen, man, I'm going to wrap up here anyway. Big up to everyone, man. Big up to everyone. I hope everyone's had a good weekend. Liverpool won a game of football. So we must have had a good weekend. Yeah, I'm saying, like, we're not coming off another weekend where it's like, oh my days, we just lost or we played shit. Again, you guys let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this on the replay. Let me know how do you felt the game went. But let me know more about Wirtz, man. Like, what was your expectation? Like, you know what, actually, what I really want to know from everybody, and if you could all comment at some point in time, let me know what your expectations for Wirtz was at this stage. So you can describe it in GA if you want. You can describe it just in terms of his level of performances, just in terms of him. What was your expectations? Has he hit those expectations? Is he close to those expectations? Has he passed your expectations? Let me know in the comment section, please. I would love to know, because I can't remember what everybody was saying, but I would love to know what people thought prior to him signing, what they expected him to do. Do you think he's hit those expectations, whatever those were, at the beginning of the season? I would love to know that. But yeah, I think Man United are playing tomorrow, so I'll do the Prem roundup. Because I'm gonna spend the next day. I'll watch the games. I'll watch the highlights of the games. Over the next like 24 hours, 48 hours, or whatever it is. So yeah, mate, I'll be back Tuesday morning. Yeah, Tuesday morning I should be back. But you never know. I might just drop another live, maybe tomorrow evening. Maybe if I'm feeling up to it, because I do want to have a conversation about Gravenberch. I just feel like I'm not letting anybody get away with anything this year. Like, you're not getting away with it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, just because I feel like it's just unfair. We hyper focus on certain players, but certain players are just being allowed to just, walk through and no one's saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? No one's pulling them up about it. Nah, we have to talk about some of these players. So he's definitely on my hit list next. And we'll talk about Curtis Jones as well. We will talk about maybe after. I don't know if Liverpool. I don't think there's any game midweek. I can't remember, but maybe towards the back end of the week. Yeah, we'll talk about Curtis Jones as well. But just stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Keep your notification bells on, and yeah, man. I'll catch you guys real soon, man. Peace.